Is the NASCAR race in Mexico actually going to happen? And Formula One officially approves Cadillac for the 2026 season. Welcome back to Break Hard. I'm Matt. Let's get right into what we want to talk about today, because the biggest question in NASCAR right now is whether or not the Mexico City race is going to happen. There is a major rumor out there that suggests that NASCAR is potentially considering pivoting that race from Mexico City on Father's Day weekend to the Daytona road course. Now, the Instagram account NASCAR Rumors Nostalgia on Instagram posted this on Thursday night, and boy, was it like throwing gasoline on a wildfire, because it blew up immediately and people were like, it's not happening. See, this is why you can't go to Mexico. Mexico can't have nice things. We'll get to that in a second. But on Friday, Bob Pockers tweeted out that NASCAR is adamant that this race is going to happen in Mexico City on Father's Day weekend, that they are going full ahead with their plans for that race. Now, they did just send a few drivers down there a little over a week ago. They toured the facility, did some media availability. So all things seem to indicate that this is going to happen. Matt Weaver from Sports Not Short Track Scene, give him a follow on Twitter or whatever social platform he's on besides that, because he's a great follow. He tweeted out that he had first heard this rumor in Atlanta, and that now it's kind of progressed its way into what it is now, where NASCAR had to comment on it to Bob Pockers. I reached out to a few people on Friday, a few people in the industry, and was told kind of the same things as what Bob said. The plan is to still go there, but there's contingencies in place if it doesn't happen. Now, NASCAR has contingency plans for every single race, so that's not a huge surprise there. I guess we're going to find out, though. Drivers start doing sim work for the Daytona road course and not for Mexico City. What's going to happen there? And I'll tell you if that happens, because somebody's going to absolutely text me and be like, yeah, I did sim work today at the Daytona road course. So maybe that's where we're going to end up at. Regardless, obviously where there's smoke, there's fire, right? I don't necessarily know how far up the chain of command at NASCAR these rumors have gotten, these contingency plans, the talk of potentially not having the race there. On one hand, it's probably a rumor that got started by somebody in the garage area that just really doesn't want to go to Mexico, which, okay, fine. Like, if you don't want to go, like, just tell your employer you don't want to go. That's probably the easiest way to do that. On the other hand, like, listen, relations between the two countries right now, not great. Not to the point of where we're going to Ukraine-Russia this situation here, but not to the point where we're all going to go out there, hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Well, certain parts of this country, at least. For all the people that are like, oh, it's because Mexico's unsafe. Mexico City is a world-class city. It is perfectly capable of hosting major events. It hosts major events every single year. It is a massive city. I don't think people understand just how big Mexico City is. I also don't think people understand where Mexico City is on a map either. They think it's this far away land, when in reality, it's a shorter drive from Mooresville to Mexico City than it is Mooresville to Los Angeles. But don't let facts stand in the way of a good argument there, like always. So if it doesn't happen, then it appears that the Daytona road course would be the pivot area. NASCAR's pivoted there before. We, of course, have run races there in both 2020 and 2023, or 2021. Jeez, sorry about that. 2021. And it's an okay road course. It's not spectacular. It's not inspiring. If they got rid of that chicane on the front stretch, I think that might be a little bit better. I think that might make for the show a little bit better. Of course, the Gen 7 car has never raced there, so maybe it could actually be a pretty good show. We'll see how all of it works out. For now, obviously, teams would probably like it because it's a much shorter trip than going to Mexico. Again, Mexico's not a crazy far trip, but a quick trip down 75 or 95 or whatever the highway is that you take. Not 90. No, yeah. Well, it is technically 95. Whatever. It doesn't matter the highway system here. Yeah, that's going to be easier than going all the way out to Mexico. But I really hope this race happens. NASCAR needs to go international. And when I say international, I mean like Mexico and Canada for this. There's a ton of fans there. They're selling tickets already. The facility is really great. It's going to be a really good time if it does in fact happen. And I hope it does. And again, because Mexico is a great city as well. Yeah, there's bad parts in Mexico. There's bad parts in this country too. There's bad parts in every single state in this country, but nobody wants to talk about that. Instead, they want to talk about how bad Mexico is. All right, that's fine. But yeah, we'll see how it happens. But the rumor right now is that it's not happening. NASCAR says it is happening. We'll see how it plays out going forward. And then on the Formula One side of things, Formula One formally approved Cadillac for the 2026 Formula One season, meaning that we will finally see a true American outfit on the grid next year. And it feels like all of this is happening so fast. At one point, it was like, oh, we're never going to see this for a few years. And it's like 2026 is literally coming up in like 9 months. So yeah, that's sick. And we're going to get to see this happen very, very soon. It's actually really cool to see. Now, of course, Cadillac is entering Formula One next season, buying their power units from Ferrari. So they're going to be a customer team for the first 2 years of their existence. And then in 2028, General Motors, Cadillac will produce their own power unit and will become a full-fledged works factory team, thanks to TWG Global and along with General Motors in a partnership here. Think a lot of how like the Mercedes team is set up now, where Total Wolff owns a good portion of that. And then they also have this partnership with Mercedes as well, and it's the factory Mercedes team. That's what this is going to be on this side of things. Dan Towers, that TWG Global conglomerate, owning the team in partnership with General Motors, and they will field this team. Now, it's good news for Formula One. I know there's going to be people out there like Total Wolff, Christian Horner, Ferrari, Fred Vassar. They're going to be like, we don't need to expand to 11 cars, blah, blah. Realistically, they didn't want to expand because they didn't like Michael Andretti. Now that Michael's out there, like, come on in. We've always wanted you guys. Okay, sure. We'll just go ahead and say that you did and just call it a day. But it means more jobs. They've already hired over 300 people for this team across 3 different locations right now. Fishers, Indiana is getting a Formula One team. Hey, who knew? The power units that will eventually be built in 2028, they're going to be built on the property down at Hendrick Motorsports. Really, really cool. And then, of course, they have a base in Silverstone as well in the UK. That's great news. Plus, it opens up 2 more seats for drivers on the Formula One grid. Now, is that going to be Colton Herta? Is it going to be Valtteri Bottas? It's not going to be Daniel Ricciardo. Nobody mentioned Mick Schumacher. We don't need him getting back into a Formula One seat. And then you have other guys out there. Alex Palou, Pato O'Ward. Are they going to be guys that are in contention for this ride? Felipe Drugovich. He's a kid that absolutely deserves the opportunity to race in Formula One instead of getting strung along by the Aston Martin team, even though he's better than one of the current Aston Martin drivers, like far and away better. But we don't need to have that discussion because Daddy Stroll doesn't want to. But on the Cadillac side of things, they have a really interesting pool of drivers that they could put into these cars, and I'm excited to see who ends up getting it. Obviously, I think we all want to see an American and Colton Herta get it. At the same time, Alex Palou is a guy that absolutely deserves to be in Formula One. He has all the skills to do it. Same thing with the Pato O'Ward as well. So yeah, we'll see how all of it plays out. But for now, they're officially approved to race in Formula One next season, which we all knew was coming, but this was kind of just a stamp of approval. Now we can all carry on and see them on the grid in 2026. And obviously the Formula One season starts next weekend down in Australia for the 2025 campaign. And we'll see who is the, leading car. Obviously it's going to be McLaren to start off the year, I think, but we'll see how good this championship battle is going to shape up to be. So let me know in the comments what you think about the Mexico City rumors. Formula One finally officially confirming Cadillac. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on TikTok at BreakHard, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at BreakHardBlog.